Good evening everyone and welcome to our 10th annual Lewis Coray Trailblazer Awards Night. I'm Constable Anthea Fordyce and I serve as the Diversity Officer for the London Police Service, and it is my distinct honour to be the MC this evening. Thank you all for joining us tonight for this virtual event. While this past year has been deeply challenging for all of us, there is light on the horizon and together we will get through this difficult time. We owe a thank you to all of you for doing your part in helping stop the spread of COVID-19. Now, I can't promise that this will be the last mention of COVID tonight, given the unique connection to the reason we are all here, but I hope this event will be a refuge to the doom and gloom and put a spotlight on some amazing young men and women. Many of us have spent countless hours on Zoom over the past year, so I hope this goes off seamlessly. Although as many of us have spent countless hours on Zoom, we know that things don't always go accordingly. But if anyone has any technical issues, don't worry, as this presentation will be uploaded to our website in its entirety for you to view at your leisure. I would like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather today is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabeg, Haudenosaunee and Lenni Lenape peoples. I would like to recognise that the 3 First Nations communities neighbouring the City of London, Chippewa of the Thames First Nation, Oneida Nation of the Thames and Munsee Delaware Nation. I would now like to welcome our honoured guests, our Trailblazer youth, Chair of the London Police Services Board, Dr. Javeed Sakira, Chief of the London Police Service, Steve Williams, Deputy Chief Trish McIntyre and Deputy Chief Stu Betts, Mayor Holder, Vice President of the London Police Association, Constable Ozzie Nethersaw, President of the Congress of Black Women, Nikisha Evans, this evening's keynote speaker, Barbara Natto, our guest of honour, Retired Sergeant Lewis Coray and his family and friends, and a warm welcome to all of you joining us from your screens at home. I am so pleased to welcome Helen Hibbert to perform O Canada. Helen is a Canadian singer-songwriter and Juno Award nominee. She graduated with an Associates of Arts degree, majoring in music from Carver College, Atlanta, Georgia, and has written over 22 original songs. As a local performer, Helen uses her gift extensively as a way to spread hope and love throughout the world. Thank you, Helen, for sharing your beautiful talent. I would now like to welcome the City of London's Mayor, Ed Holder, to bring greetings on behalf of City Council.
On behalf of London City Council, I'm proud to join you here as we gather to celebrate the legacy of Sergeant Louis Coray by virtue of the annual Trailblazer Award. Among other things, this important honor celebrates Sergeant Coray's contributions to policing and to the London community, recognizing young people from the African, Caribbean, and Black Canadian communities. As you know, we're in the midst of Black History Month, and here in London we have much upon which to reflect and also much to celebrate. We reflect on our own Black history here in London, dating back to the 1830s, when a population of approximately 60 individuals escaped from slavery in the United States to Canada and ultimately to London. We think of those who came to London from Jamaica and elsewhere in the Caribbean in the 1960s, helping to revive our city's Black population, and more recently, thousands who have come from Somalia, Sudan, and other African nations. We think of former City Councillor Harold Usher and current members of council, including Mosali and Ariel Kayabaga. And on this occasion, we honor all previous recipients of the Trailblazer Award. We reflect on the work that they have done, and we celebrate your contributions towards building a more compassionate and a more equitable London. So on behalf of London City Council, thank you, congratulations, and from us, from a caring community, thank you for your caring.
I would now like to welcome Chief Williams to bring greetings on behalf of the London Police Service.
Good evening and welcome to the 10th Annual Louis Coray Trailblazer Awards. I'd like to take a moment to welcome a number of distinguished guests joining us virtually this evening, including members of the London Police Services Board and the London Police Association, Black History Month committee members, our keynote speaker, Barbara Natto, Nikisha Evans from the Congress of Black Women, and of course, our guest of honor, retired Sergeant Louis Coray and his family. During this Black History Month, London Police Service reflects and recognizes the vital contributions of the Black community to our country, our city, and to our police service. One of the ways we do that is by recognizing outstanding youth from the local African, Caribbean, and Black communities who have taken time to reflect on what Black History Month means to them through essays and videos submitted to us. These young community leaders embody the spirit, heart, and soul of this award's namesake, retired Sergeant Louis Coray, who I understand is watching this evening's ceremony from his home. Retired Sergeant Louis Coray, or Bud, as he prefers to be called, made local history when he joined the London Police Service on August 25th, 1951, and became our first Black officer. Bud was an officer of the London Police Service for 30 years, contributing to our service and to our community in countless ways, earning the respect of his fellow officers and the community. Over the course of his career, Bud served in various capacities with the London Police, rising to the rank of sergeant when he became a detective in 1963. He retired as a member of the London Police Fraud Unit after 3 decades of dedicated service. Bud not only served the citizens of London, he also served the members of the organization as a leader with the London Police Association. He held multiple positions with the local association and represented London officers at the provincial level. Tonight, we honor Bud's legacy and recognize him for the trailblazer that he is. We also look to the young people we are honoring this evening, the trailblazers of their generation, and congratulate them on their nominations. Being nominated for the Louis Coray Trailblazer Award for Youth is an honor in and of itself, and each of you should be very proud of the leadership you have demonstrated and the contributions you have made to our community, which have brought you here today. Please know that we at the London Police Service are incredibly proud of you and your accomplishments. The theme for tonight's event is an evening of inspiration, and I know it will be just that. This is a time for us to celebrate and recognize diversity and achievements, while acknowledging the sacrifices endured as we move towards the shared goal of racial equality. Thank you all for joining us here tonight. I wish we could be together in person, but I'm glad that technology has made it possible to still celebrate as a group virtually. My congratulations to all of our applicants and to the selected recipients. And now I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Javeed Sukhera to bring greetings on behalf of the London Police Services Board.
Thank you for joining us. I'm so pleased to be here in my second year as chair of the London Police Services Board. My board colleagues and I wished that we could be celebrating with you, your friends, and your family in person, but we recognize that the health of our community and pandemic restrictions dictate that this is how it has to be. I have to say that participating in events like this with youth of your caliber, with smart minds, kind hearts, and motivation to contribute to your community never gets old. And events like this are some of the most inspiring and rewarding aspects of my board role. On behalf of the board, I would also like to express the board's gratitude to retired London Police Service Sergeant Louis Bud Coray for his inspiration to Black youth and our community at large, and also for his trailblazing efforts when he joined the London Police Service as its first Black officer 70 years ago. 70 years. We can only imagine how uncertain the terrain was back then for this young Black officer who had a dream. Well, he turned that dream into an opportunity. He blazed a trail and made his mark. We celebrated Mr. Coray at a separate event at LPS headquarters a year ago with the rededication of the Louis Coray Community Room. And this packed, standing room only event was clearly a testament to the positive impact that he has had on our community and on our police service. We thank him for his valued contributions, and we want to thank him for the inspiration that he has provided to so many. Of course, the world has had its challenges all those years ago when Mr. Coray stepped into the world of policing. However, we believe that the world today is even in greater need of strong, young leaders to pick up where their predecessors left off and to forge new paths towards equity, justice, inclusion, and belonging for all members of our society. I challenge each of you to ask yourself how you will continue Mr. Coray's trailblazing legacy, as well as create your own legacy, large or small. They all add up, they all string together to make the world a more equitable and just place. I thank award winners and participants alike. I congratulate all of you on your successes to date and those which I expect are yet to come. Your presence here makes me hopeful for the future, as you all have an opportunity to make the world a better place. Seize that opportunity, work hard, find where you are best suited to make an impact, and be kind to yourself and the people around you. Thank you, and congratulations again. Stay safe, everyone. Be well, be healthy, and I look forward to hopefully seeing many of you at next year's event in person.
Next, I would like to welcome Constable Ozzie Nethersall to bring greetings on behalf of the London Police Association.
My name is Ozzie Nethersall. I'm the Vice President of the London Police Association. I'm just honored to be invited for this year's 10th anniversary of the Louis Coray Award. I just first of all want to thank Mr. Coray for all he's done over the years. I'm sorry that we can't be here in person this year because of the virus. Next year, I'm hoping everything opens up again. We'll be back at the police station to honor you, because this is a great honor, especially this being the 10th year to celebrate this award. For all the recipients, I'm very thankful in this lockdown that you're still able to write your essays, be selected for this, and to take the chance of putting your name forward. So for all the people that put their name forwards, you're all winners. And on behalf of the London Police Association, I'd like to just thank all the recipients and hope to see you all next year.
This evening's award winners plaque is sponsored by the Congress of Black Women, and I would like to welcome President Nakisha Evans to speak on behalf of Congress.
Congratulations. My name is Nakisha Evans, the President of the Congress of Black Women London Chapter. On behalf of the executive and members, we celebrate with you on being the recipients of the 2021 Louis Coray Trailblazer Award. In 1951, retired Sergeant Louis Coray broke barriers and paved the way for so many. He became the first Black person to join the London Police Service. After his retirement, he continued to make waves by advocating for members of the Black community. Your acceptance of this award represents the legacy of Sergeant Louis Coray. We admonish you to continue on excel, and break barriers in your own right. Be a trailblazer to your generation. Congratulations once again.
Each year, the London Police Service and our partners gather near the end of Black History Month to honour the legacy of Black Canadians and celebrate their rich history. Despite the challenges we're facing, our commitment to the celebration is undeterred. This year, our theme is an evening of inspiration. We are privileged tonight as we are in no short supply of inspiration. Our distinguished guests and award winners are drawn from our community and showcase the depth of talent and culture that London has to offer. As we embrace new challenges and contend with historic injustices, nights like these where we reflect on our shared history are even more important in building a successful and inclusive future. Time and time again, Black Canadians have demonstrated leadership, courage, and resilience when faced with barriers to their success and undue adversity. Tonight, we are the change that we seek, as President Obama put it. The London Police Service created the Lewis Coray Trailblazer Award to create incentives for success and opportunities for growth among youth reflective of this diversity. We are proud to commemorate the achievements of Mr. Coray with an award in his name. The Lewis Coray Trailblazer Award will be presented here tonight to a young person who has demonstrated perseverance in pursuit of academic success and social responsibility. Youth from the City of London entered our Trailblazer Award by submitting an essay or a short video about the importance of Black History Month and what it means to them. Thank you to the London Police Association and the London Police Services Board who have provided bursary money to the top 3 winners. We received many amazing submissions, but it is my pleasure to name the top 3 entries, including the winner of the 2021 Lewis Coray Trailblazer Award. In 3rd place, Destin Gardner. Destin is a 16-year-old student from Oak Ridge Secondary School. Destin has lived in Canada for 5 years, and ever since he was a young boy, he has wanted to become a police officer. Destin is an avid baseball player, and he is already taking courses at Fanshawe College as he is motivated to pursue his dreams of a career in law enforcement. Congratulations, Destin. In 2nd place, Danielle Noge. Danielle is 16 years old and was born in Cameroon in Central Africa. She is bilingual. She speaks English and French and would like to learn more languages in the future. She likes to read, write, and draw, and to help others. Danielle not only wants to travel around the world to heal as much people as she can, but she wants to be a surgeon. Danielle's mother is a great source of inspiration for her and helped her to gain the confidence to submit her entry to the London Police Service. The story of Lewis Coray inspired her. A lot of his courage and devotion is what motivated her to apply. Congratulations, Danielle. This year's winner of the 2021 Lewis Coray Trailblazer Award is Esther Clark from Central Secondary School. Esther submitted a brilliant video about the importance of Black history and what it means to her. Here is her video. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Esther Clark, and today I'm here to answer one question. Why is Black History Month important to me? Well, before we start, let's consider, what even is Black History Month? Black History Month is a month in February where Black individuals who have made vast contributions to the world are recognized and celebrated. Firstly, I think one of the most important aspects of Black History Month is that Black people who strive to create a better world are recognized, and I'd like to share some of them with you. I'd like to start off with Lewis Coray, the man of the hour. After doing a little research, I realized he's the exact definition of a trailblazer, pioneer, or innovator. In the year 1951, he became the first Black police officer in London. Representation is very important as it can combat racism and promote acceptance. Lewis Coray brought that representation to the police force and therefore was a trailblazer for our community. Another noteworthy person is Madam C.J. Walker. She was the first female millionaire in the world due to her hard work and her line of hair care products for Black women. What I think is truly amazing about her is the fact that she was able to become a millionaire while also providing her fellow Black women with the products they needed to feel confident and beautiful in a world where they're often looked down upon. And so, she is definitely an amazing trailblazer to add to the books. not only for Black people, but for women as well. The final person I'd like to mention today is Sojourner Truth. She was born into slavery, but later in life managed to escape with her daughter, leaving her son behind. She had no intention of leaving him as a slave though, as she later came to free him through court trial. After the court trial had concluded, Truth had accomplished what seemed to be the impossible at the time. She was the first Black person to win a trial against a white man. Truth's story was sure to have lit a fire into the hearts of other Black people, as court trials tended to be overly biased and impossible to win at the time for Black people. Black History Month gives me the chance to remember and pay my respect to all of the trailblazers and activists who made their own respective impacts on the world. Without them, I might not even be here today. Because I'm mixed with half Ugandan, half Canadian, my parents had to come from different cultural backgrounds to get together. Without all these amazing contributors to Black history, it wouldn't have been so easy for my parents to get together, and for that I'm truly grateful to them. Black History Month is a time of education. Educating the public about Black history can help diminish racism and bad stereotypes, creating a welcoming and non-ignorant society for Black people. Also, the figures mentioned during Black History Month molded our current society into being more accepting and welcoming of all races. Now, because of them, I don't have to fear for my safety, I won't be discriminated against, and I have the same rights as everyone else. So what can we take from all this? Black History Month is a time to reflect upon, appreciate, and educate yourself about Black history. It's important because the trailblazers and activists of the past deserve recognition for all that they've done. Also, learning from the past is exactly how we can have a brighter future. Thank you for your time, and let's celebrate Black history together.
Hi Esther, congratulations on winning this year's 2021 Louis Coray Trailblazer Award. Your video was outstanding.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Esther, could you share with us a little bit about yourself?
For sure. So my name is Esther Clark. I'm 17 years old. I was born here in London. I enjoy participating in our youth band at my church. I also enjoy taking care of the preteens as well. I like to lead. I also participate in the summer camp program at my church as well. I personally have a passion for art, so I'm planning on going into graphic design. I'm currently at London Central. Then next year I'll go to Beale for their extended program. And then after that, I plan to go to Toronto for university or college in graphic design.
Thank you, Esther, and we wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. Would you mind sharing with us tonight what motivated you to create such a wonderful video about Black history?
Yeah, for sure. So last year, my sister actually applied for the award and she won second place. And in turn, she was able to work with the Yippee team. And I thought that would be a great opportunity since I was looking for a job for the summer, and it seemed like a really positive work environment and like a good place to make friends, but also like find good work. Also, I was pretty interested in the topic that we're talking about, Black history in general. I didn't find it too hard to do the research because I was actually finding myself enjoying it. I also enjoy speaking publicly and like sharing my views and thoughts, especially about stuff that I'm passionate about. So in general, I was like really inspired to work on this.
You could absolutely tell. I thoroughly enjoyed your video, as I'm sure everyone here tonight did as well. We are very much looking forward to having you as part of our Youth in Policing Initiative team member this summer, a position very well deserved and well earned. Thank you, Esther.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
My sincerest congratulations goes to all of our finalists and the participants. It is now my pleasure to welcome our keynote speaker, the incredible Barbara Natto. Barbara has been an educator for 33 years and is currently an elementary principal at St. Jude's Elementary School. She sits on the London District Catholic School Board Anti-Racism, Inclusion, Diversity and Steering Committee. Having the lived experience of an immigrant child, Barbara is passionate about teaching, learning and equitable outcomes for all children from all backgrounds and cultures.
Good evening, Chief Williams, members of the Police Association, members of the London Police Services Board, Mayor Holder, guests, and of course our award recipients and families. It is an honor to be here tonight to be part of the Louis Coray Trailblazer Award evening. Sergeant Coray was the first Black police officer in the London Police Services. He began his career in 1951 as a uniformed police officer and worked through the ranks in criminal investigation to later become a detective in the fraud unit. Sergeant Coray, you are indeed an inspiration to us all. Serving for 33 years in the police force, you remain a positive role model for our young people, demonstrating that race, ethnicity, nor heritage is a hindrance for a dream. Blazing a trail for diversity, you are an exemplary example for our children that anything is possible. I am an educator. I was a student, teacher, and now a principal for the last 19 years in the London District Catholic School Board. I have followed in the footsteps of my parents and sister, who were also educators with our school board. My son, Alex, tells me he too will be an educator. I know what it is to be different. Out of our 78 administrators, I am the only visible minority administrator. I am currently the proud principal of St. Jude Catholic Elementary School. I celebrate my staff that are embracing differences with open hearts and minds. I am originally from Guyana, South America, emigrating to Canada at the age of 4. My ancestors were indentured servants from South India who were brought to work on the sugar plantations. It has taken me a long time to embrace my history and feel comfort with it. As a young immigrant child, my efforts were spent in assimilating and acculturating into Canadian culture. It is my experiences as a visible minority child, teacher, and principal that make me invested in and passionate about education that recognizes diverse and ethnocultural backgrounds. With a rapidly changing ethnocultural landscape, there is urgency for the culturally responsive classroom. The culturally responsive classroom connects pedagogical practice to high expectations, regardless of social identity. It deals with issues regarding broadly defined culture and cultural competence within the classroom and the teaching environment, and engages students to develop critical consciousness and questioning of the status quo. We want students who graduate with a consciousness of who they are, conscious of their history, conscious of the world they live in, conscious of what they bring to the table, and how to navigate that world from a place of strength as responsive and responsible citizens. My heart dwells in limitless possibilities for children. Tonight, we celebrate 3 young trailblazers who will be the recipients of the Louis Coray Trailblazer Awards: Esther Clark, Danielle Noge, and Destin Gardner. They have creatively and eloquently articulated what Black History Month means to each of them. In their own words, they say this: "We are reminded to reflect upon, appreciate, and educate ourselves about Black history. Black History Month reminds us of the struggles, sacrifices, and achievements of Black Canadians. Black History Month celebrates diversity and people from all origins striving towards a future where racism and discrimination no longer exist." They continue, "Learning about our history will help us develop as people. We can overcome obstacles deemed impossible. To remember that my voice counts and that the color of my skin will not hinder my evolution. It is rather a source of strength to represent the difference, to accept who I am. Where words such as color, origins, or even belonging will no longer be barriers." These are the words of our award recipients tonight, the student voice, so powerful, they are the trailblazers of tomorrow. I encourage you always to tell your story, your narrative, personal to you. Your unique story is critical to who you really are. In knowing thyself, you can take the leap to change the world. Be an entrepreneur, engineer, educator, or law enforcement officer. In the words of Amanda Gorman, inaugural poet 2021, be brave enough to be it. After 33 years in education, as I come to the end of my career, I share these pieces of me with you. My message begins with two simple words: be you. Ask yourself, who are you going to be, and how are you going to respond to the ever-changing world around you? The acronym BEYOU is my inspiration. First of all, we start with B. What comes to mind? That brilliant B word, the brain. Before we can move forward, we need to understand the intricacies of the brain. We continue to learn more and more about brain development and how the brain learns. We are always learning about the brain's executive functions in directing learning, problem solving, and self-regulation. The brain is a natural learning apparatus. Much research has been done discussing culturally responsive pedagogy as encompassing the social, emotional, relational, and cognitive aspects of teaching culturally and linguistically diverse students. Knowing that language is a powerful tool, when we are able to recognize and name a student's learning moves and not mistake culturally different ways of learning and making meaning of intellectual deficits, we are better able to match those moves with a powerful teaching response. Turning concepts into practices takes focus, feedback, and reflection. Students from racialized communities must have the opportunity to engage in what neuroscientists call productive struggle that actually grows our brain power. When used effectively, CRPT, culturally responsive pedagogical teaching, formally rooted in learning theory and cognitive science, helps students build intellective ability capacity, the increased power in the brain to create and process complex information more effectively. From neurons to narratives, we must learn about our children for them to understand the complexity of their identity. Only then can they build a purpose and participate in the never-ending process of trying, failing, reflecting, and above all, learning. We must teach our children to be bold, smart, and fair. We must teach them to have courage. We must teach them to take an ethical stance. Only then can they develop their voice to achieve virtuous outcomes. It will help them be fully human, to be imperfect and flawed, yet fabulous. B leads us to E. Esther, Danielle, and Destin champion equity with urgency and intentionality. Exhibit excellence. Be excellent at doing the right thing. As Oprah Winfrey once said, excellence shows itself. Let it be your brand. It's excellence that will make you memorable. Educate and seek to be educated. Education is the great equalizer. The educated imagination knows no boundaries. It will grant you access and opportunity. Be conscientious and determined. Use your knowledge, build your knowledge, embrace the pressure. CNN correspondent Van Jones said, "No pressure, no diamonds." Use your skills as a platform to make a significant change. Dream the impossible dream. With energy and endurance, extend yourself to reach your potential. E leads us to Y. Your response to setbacks matters. You may fall, you may fail. Keep standing after you fall. It will give you the opportunity to be stronger, smarter, tougher, faster, and more resilient. When you know better, fail better. Remember, one never loses. One only wins and learns. Bless a thing and it will bless you. If you bless a situation, it has no power to hurt you. And even if it is troublesome for a time, it will gradually fade out. Emmett Fox said, "Blessing for whatever vexes us is the spiritual surrender that can change troublesome situations for the better." Take the high road. The view is always better from there. Tragedy and trials can lead to triumph. Work through weakness and choose character. Rock bottom can be the foundation from which to grow. There is nothing some grit and some amazing grace won't take you through. Y leads us to O. Be open to possibility. St. Jude, the patron saint of the impossible, only showed me possibilities. Learn to know the other and invite the other to learn to know you. Know that you are more than your appearance and that it does not define you, but it is you. Stand up and stand out. Offer optimism in pain. Look for opportunities in every circumstance. Be original and outstanding at the same time. Have a dedicated determination to succeed. Provoke with passion and show relentless resilience in adversity. Say yes and embrace discomfort. Be vulnerable, yet invincible, and plant seeds of hope that will one day grow. And finally, you leads us to you. Have an unwavering commitment to service. Our law enforcement officers know this well. Facta non verba, deeds, not words. Should you pursue a profession in law enforcement, be sure to uphold the values of its service. Professionalism, excellence, integrity, inclusiveness, transparency, accountability, diversity, trust. Apply pressure and provide support to see change. You hold enormous potential and possibility for change. Celebrate change. Let your unique contribution be unbelievable. You are part of a magnificent mosaic. Maya Angelou once said, "When you learn, teach. When you get, give. And give with a loving heart." I have found tremendous gratification in service as an educator. In my 6 school communities, it is the children that have taught me the greatest lessons on love. In their innocence, they will teach you all there is to know about love. They do not discriminate who will receive their enthusiastic and spontaneous affection. It is for the children, our students, that we do this great work of service. Dr. Martin Luther King left a legacy of love and said, "Your greatness is determined by service." So there it is. Be you. Be your own inimitable you, not ever to be duplicated. As we near the end of Black History Month, let us reflect on what COVID has taught us. In fatigue and fear, we have learned about what really matters. Honor the past and the footprints left behind. Be an instrument to reunite what's broken. Without question, we need one another. Together, we must build, sustain, and celebrate the unique diversity that is all around us. We have a collective responsibility to heal the hurt and ease the pain. Again, echoing Amanda Gorman, let us be committed to cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. Let us aim for a more perfect world. Let us create a shared world with a shared mission, reaching our highest human potential. Esther, Danielle, and Destin, yours is a uniquely personal journey. Listen to the deep vibrations to find your voice and sing your song. Tonight is yours. Like Sergeant Louis Coray, blaze that trail. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. You have inspired us all with your powerful words and wisdom. Now we have the very talented Sadat. Sadat is the #1 youth entertainer in Canada. Sadat is a children's entertainer, speaker, author, and singer. She has provided programs reaching 500,000 students across Canada. She leads a very strong message from the heart that one person can make a difference. Together we can change the world. Welcome, Sadat.
Hello everyone, my name is Sadat and I want to congratulate the recipients of the Sergeant Louis Coray Trailblazer Award. Your efforts do not go unnoticed, and we are celebrating you today. I know that the past year has been such a struggle for everyone. And as young people, you are trying to understand the world that you live in and wondering how is it going to show up for you as you create a life for yourself. And in these times when you feel that your life is not valued or respected, I want you to remember that there are people in your community supporting you and helping you to find ways to achieve your dreams. That every day there is someone finding a way to break barriers and create a community where equity and inclusion is at the forefront. Sergeant Louis Coray was a role model who helped us remember that we can be who we want to be and we can rise above adversity. And today, I hope that you remember that you are not alone. And I have a song for you today by Khalid and Shawn Mendes. That's a reminder that your youth, your life is valuable and needed. You are needed. You are valued. You are loved. So I'm going to sing a song today called Youth. This song is for you. And by the end of the song, I would love if you would sing along with me, okay? Congratulations. Here I am stuck on this couch, scrolling through my notes. I was broken, still not growing. Waking up to headlights filled with devastation again. My heart is broken, but I still go ahead. Pain, but I won't let it turn into hate. No, I won't let it change me. Never losing sight to the one I keep inside. Now I know that. Now I know that. You can't take my youth away. Soul of mine will never break. As long as I wake up today, you can't take my youth away. You can't take my youth away. The soul of mine will never break. As long as I wake up today, you can't take my youth away. You can't take my youth away. It's hard to sleep at night, knowing what's outside, feeling hopeless. I need forgiveness. You hit me with words I never heard come out your mouth. To be honest, I don't want it. Pain, but I won't let it turn into hate. No, I won't let it change me. Never losing sight to the one I keep inside. Now I know it. Now I know it. You can take my youth away. The soul of mine will never break. As long as I wake up today, you can't take my youth away. You can't take my youth away. The soul of mine will never break. As long as I wake up today, you can't take my youth away. You can't take my youth away. Can't take my youth away. All right, now this song has so much meaning because you can rise above adversity. You can be a role model for others, and we are here with you. We're supporting you today and for the rest of your life. So are you ready to sing with me? Okay, I'm gonna tell you the words. It's you can't take my youth away. The soul of mine will never break. As long as I wake up today, you can't take my youth away. So you want to sing it with me? All right, put those shoulders back, lift your head up. You're gonna make it. You ready? Awesome. Congratulations. You're a trailblazer. Here we go. You can't take my youth away. The soul of mine will never break as long as I wake up today. You can't take my youth away. You can't take my youth away. The soul of mine will never break as long as I wake up today. You can't take my youth away. You can't take my youth away. The soul of mine will never break as long as I wake up today. You can't take my youth away. You can't take my youth away. Soul of mine will never break as long as I wake up today. You can't take my youth away. Congratulations, Trailblazers.
Thank you, Sadat. This event allows us an opportunity to share with our attendees how it is that we all became police officers. The reason that each of us became police officers differs, but we all share a devout commitment to our community. While this year is different as we can't be together in person, to help you understand what a career with the London Police Service is like, instead I want to share a video which gives you a peek into the world of policing and all the great opportunities it brings.
You'd be very surprised at what you could do when you put this uniform on. When you put it on, you're it. People are looking for help, and they're looking to someone in this uniform. And you're the one wearing it. You feel that level of responsibility, and I feel it every time I put it on.
An exciting aspect of policing really is the physicality of it. It is having a situation unfold in front of you and then reacting immediately. It is not sitting at a desk 100% of the time, that ability to move and to interact with the community, but then catching the person responsible for a crime is absolutely rewarding.
You can go from being an undercover officer like I was, where every day I'm pretending I'm not a police officer, to being a school resource officer, where every day you're in the schools proudly showing your uniform, trying to mold young minds and help kids, to forensics, where you're a blood spatter expert or bomb disposal in our emergency response unit. The sky's the limit.
Policing provides a variety of opportunities throughout the lifetime of your career, and it's that change that makes the profession exciting. London is a great city, and I think there are several rewards in policing a mid-sized city, and that, for me, is driven by the volume of calls we see and our exposure to complex community issues, calls that create and generate risk to the public, and being able to be part of those calls and work collaboratively as a team.
What I love about London, it is a perfect size. It's not too big and it's not too small. And we have great sports and recreational centers. It's a great place to raise a family, and it's also a great place for work-life balance. It really is. For a police officer, community involvement is all about making that community better. It's true.
I'm Trish McIntyre, and I'm a staff sergeant with London Police Service. You should consider joining the London Police Service if you want to join a team of excellent people, if you want to engage the community, and if you want to make a difference.
My name's Dwayne Price, and I'm a staff sergeant with London Police Service. It's the most rewarding when you leave a call and you know that you've made that person's life better or that family's life better.
Bonjour, I am Sergeant Alcindor Pierre. My diversity outreach colleagues, Constable Anthea Fordyce and Constable Ziad Zabian, are now part of our community service unit, which falls under our new community mobilization and support branch. Our goal is to broaden our community engagement to better serve you by helping the London Police Service become more reflective of our community. We are so proud to partner with so many great community agencies and community members who have mobilized, joined their respective representative London Police personnel, demonstrating commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We invite you to join us to help us build a better partnership with our community where all our members are well represented. Deeds, not words. Nos actions et non nos paroles. C'est ça nous fait, pas ça nous dit. Deeds, not words.
Mr. Louis Coray was born in 1925 in Vancouver. He grew up in Victoria before joining the Air Force. He met his wife Lorraine in the 1940s while stationed in St. Thomas. When he finished with the Air Force, he returned to Lorraine and the two married in 1947. In 1951, Louis was hired by the London Police Service. He first worked as a patrol officer and then a traffic officer, and then as a fraud detective. He retired after 31 years with the London Police Service in 1982. He is the proud father to Stacey and Pam and a grateful grandfather to his grandchildren.
My name is Dwayne Price. I'm an inspector with the London Police Service, and I have the distinct pleasure to read a letter from Mr. Coray, who's unable to be here this evening. Good evening, all. I am sorry that I'm not able to be with you tonight. In these extraordinary times where the world is struggling to battle the COVID-19 pandemic, it is difficult to respond with the right mix of words and actions. I want to recognize and show my family as well as my own appreciation for the heroic efforts of our police services, frontline workers, and emergency responders in keeping us safe and healthy during these unprecedented times. I want to especially express my appreciation and congratulations to Chief Williams and his team, the Congress of Black Women, and all of the folks here tonight for their resilience, strength, and courage to carry on with this wonderful acknowledgement of this event. This is inspiring. Although we are gathering together virtually this year, I have attended this event 10 times now, and it is still an absolute privilege and honor to be involved with this celebration. I cannot express in words the joy and pride that I continue to feel in being part of this event. The presentation of the award in my namesake, the Louis Coray Trailblazer Award. Thank you once again for allowing me to share this amazing moment with you. I want to take this opportunity to extend my congratulations to the winner and all of the finalists. You are an outstanding group of individuals. After graduating from high school, all of you may want to continue your education at the post-secondary school level and become a police officer, or possibly find a career that builds bridges with the ethnic community of our great city of London. Regardless of what field of endeavor you choose to take, all of you will no doubt make a difference in our community and continue to be a trailblazer for others in the future. Each year that this wonderful celebration of our young folks has been held, I have been asked to pass on a few of my thoughts to the award winner and finalists and all the young folks here tonight. And again, I have the privilege and honor to share some of my notions with you. In my downtime, I enjoy reading. Reading things that give me a different perspective on life. Personal narratives, poetry, politics, autobiographies, memoirs, and history, to name some. But once in a while, I like to pick out something from my bookcase that I've already read and break it open again. I always find something that I may have missed or something old that gives me a new perspective now than it did when I first read it. I would like to take a moment now and share something with you from a book that I had read a while ago, which I hope may be of interest to folks tonight. Something that's not new, but how the author puts it comes across a bit different. Let me read it to you. There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. It's authentic and it makes perfect sense. Let me read it again. There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. This particular quote is one of my favorite reflections captured by Nelson Mandela in his book, Nelson Mandela by Himself. We know that Nelson Mandela was a trailblazer and possessed an unshakable belief in the power of empathy, honesty, and dialogue to heal the deepest and most intractable wounds. In this quote, Mandela focused on the fact that there is nothing to be gained from settling for a version of you less than the quality of your potential. Sadly, though, that is the reality for most people. Nelson Mandela takes that concept of playing small and not settling for less and relates it to taking risks. He thinks that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Now, when I was starting out, when I was in my late teen years, I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. And I bet you folks are pretty much doing the same thing. What do you want to do when you complete high school? Are you considering post-secondary school or something else? At that time in my life, I can remember my mother saying to me, "Bud, in case something doesn't go the way you want it to go, make sure you have something to fall back on." Have something to fall back on, she told me. But I found another path after I had enlisted in the Air Force. Although it was a path that encouraged me not to listen to my mother, it made more sense to me. I was encouraged to fall forward. If I fall forward, at least I'll see what's in front of me, and I can make all the necessary adjustments as I go forward. You only live once, so do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail big, as Denzel Washington says. Mr. Washington goes on to tell us that you will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. There is no doubt about it. Let me tell you, I failed. I lost. I embarrassed myself, and on more than one occasion. But embrace it, because it's inevitable. Although it was tough to do, I did. I embraced it. So I agree with Mr. Washington. Don't be afraid to fail, but remember at the same time, dream big too. But keep in mind, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they will ultimately lead to regret. So have dreams, but have goals too. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. Nelson Mandela suggests to us about making this practical thing a thing that people live beyond just what they think about every day. As trailblazers, I believe you young folks have an opportunity to help all of us make not playing small a practical thing and live a life that is one we are capable of living. In delivering the commencement speech at Dillard University, Academy Award-winning actor Denzel Washington told the college graduates to put God first. Mr. Washington said, "Put God first in everything we do," adding that everything he has accomplished in his life was due to the grace of God. He understood that everything we accomplish is a gift from God. Mr. Washington emphasized the need to say thank you. Say thank you for grace, thank you for mercy, thank you for understanding, thank you for wisdom, thank you for love, and thank you for what's already yours. In my humble opinion, this is what you young folks should be understanding as you go forward in your lives. All the young folks gathered here tonight are the ongoing voices that need to speak the truth and not settle for less. In closing, I want to leave you with another quote from Nelson Mandela. "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." Thank you very much for allowing me to bend your ear, and God bless.
As we come to a close this evening, I want to once again thank all of the students who made outstanding submissions on a topic that is powerful and important. I want to thank the London Police Association and the London Police Services Board for your generosity in providing bursaries for our top 3 winners, and finally to Sergeant Louis "Bud" Coray and his family. This award has been received by students for a decade, and your contribution to the London Police Service and the community has left a lasting legacy. I will leave you all tonight with a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Let us all work to be the light that drives out darkness. If we work together, we can continue to make great strides to be a better future." Thank you all for being here tonight. Stay safe and be well.